All right, let's get it. Let's do this thing, man. All right, so look, a couple weeks ago, man, it feels like it's been so much longer. So I've been like really trying to get back to this. Um, just got in a car accident last night, so please excuse the hoodie and all of that. But I wanted to look real professional for this one. But anyway, so we getting back into our vision board. We had a vision board party, and it's actually cool that I guess that it didn't work out that day because since then I have revamped mine just because of like aesthetics and things like that. So these are a couple things that people don't tell you about vision boards. We're gonna get into how to actually make it work for you, and again, like the stuff that they don't tell you, which is exactly why we need to have this video. So let's do this thing. Let's make sure we got the vibes. I got the prosperity incense right here. Right. All right. So check this out. Most people, when you talk about vision board, it's like, okay, boom, I'm just gonna cut out some magazine photos and put some pretty pictures on a board, and then things are gonna happen for me. And that is absolutely not true. Like, to an extent, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to forming our visions, we need to actually have like a vision, but like, you know what I'm saying, but like not just put out stuff that we want on a board. And I'm gonna show you mine, and I'm gonna get into some of the other stuff in a second. But it's like you have to actually feel yourself in that space, envision it, like truly in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like you could see it, you could taste it, you could feel it. Like it has to be a part of your vibration so strongly that like it encompasses you. You know what I'm saying? So not just saying, hey, I would love to have a remote like this, but actually, like, if you could visualize in your mind's eye, feeling it, touching it, seeing what it looks like, how it looks in the different lighting, you know what I'm saying, the different buttons on it, stuff like that. So you want to absolutely go ahead and for real, like, feel it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and that's the crazy part about it. It's like okay, it's not mine yet. How can I feel $1 million house or a $30 million home when I'm not close to being there? But the thing about it is, like, if you can't see yourself in there, if you can't imagine yourself in that pool or however your particular house looks, if you can't see that, like, you're never going to be able to attain that. So same thing. It's like, if you can't actually picture yourself, I'm just going to use this as an example. If you can't picture yourself on the tennis court, you're never going to be able to actually, you know what I'm saying, see yourself there or be there. So if you know that let's say you want to go to like Dollar Tree or something. If you can't see yourself actually going down the road, like typing in your GPS, hey, I need to go to Dollar Tree, how the hell do you expect to get there? You can type in the GPS all day long, but you're not getting to Dollar Tree because you can't actually see yourself getting there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you haven't actually told the GPS, hey, this is where I want to go, this is where I need to go, type thing. So when I say, like, make it a part of your entire vibration, like, you have to fully feel like, yo, I can get this, I'm gonna get this is mine. You have to believe it's already yours, right? Whatever you want is already yours. And anything that, like, hasn't worked out is like, if you'll start to notice a pattern, right? The more in tune you get with it, that the things that you no longer want, you'll see them start to fall away. So, like, let's say that you thought, hey, I really wanted this job, or I really wanted this girl, or I wanted this, or I wanted that, right? Let's say you did have it. Let's say, like, for instance, you had that girl or whatever, and then you start seeing, like, different behaviors or stuff in them that maybe that don't vibe with you anymore, right? So these things, like, you'll start to see yourself kind of go away from the relationship. And on a negative aspect, this could be called self-sabotage, but really it's you looking out for you before you even are conscious of it. Your subconscious is 97% of your brain. So when we talk about our vibration, when we talk about envisioning these things, like, we actually have to, like, train the subconscious, which is 97%. Subconscious is what when you go to sleep, it's a part of your dreams, or it controls your dreams, but it also controls, like, all your neural pathways. It can, all your nerves and everything like that, your nerve endings, all the stuff that you don't think about. Like, you're watching this right now, you're not having to tell your eyes, hey, look at this, or hey, keep breathing while I'm watching this video, right? Keep taking in the information. You're not having to do that. Your subconscious is in charge of all of that. And so the reason why I bring that up is because if you don't reprogram your subconscious to believe, hey, I do deserve $20 million a month, right? You know, and that sounds crazy, right? But it's like, okay, why does Rihanna get to get 20 million a month, but you don't get to get 20 million a month? You see what I'm saying? So you have to reprogram your mind to stop thinking like certain people deserve this, but I don't deserve this, or feeling like you're lesser than. Like, why does everybody else get to be happy? Or why does everybody else have this and this and this and that? Mind you, a lot of these people, you know, they only show their good side. Like on social media, they only show their good side. Beyonce, for instance, is a great example. Pictures of her to be out there. So the reason why I bring that up is because, you know, you people only put out what is in a favorable light a lot of times. And so you're saying, oh man, why do they get to have that? Why do they get to have that? I don't get to have that type thing. You're training your body first off that you don't deserve it. So that's going to keep repelling it from you if that's something you really want. But then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? You're idolizing people or idealizing like their situation when they're really only showing you like maybe 3% of their situation. So when it comes to our vision boards, we have to be very specific about, you know, not just like pretty pictures and cutting it out and like what we want and things like that, but you have to actually feel it, actually believe it. You have to start with the, you know, subconscious programming. And if you're like, well, how the hell do I do that? There's great videos on YouTube. You can literally type in, like, sometimes when I go to bed at night, I'll type in like, you know, how to track this, or I'll type in something subliminal. Now subliminals are like, if you're a little bit more advanced, because it is some, you know, constantly going in and out your ears, a bunch of people talking like 30 voices at once, and everybody's down for that. But you could try something simple. You could say like, how to be a better guitar player, binaural beats, right? That's one way. Or you can say how to be a better guitar player, subliminal. How to be a better guitar player, hypnosis. Or you could just, you know, actually look and type in on YouTube, you know, subconscious, whatever, and whatever the subject is that you're wanting to do. So that's one of the first things that people don't tell you about the vision board. They just like, oh, let's have parties and let, you know, throw it together, and that's fun and that's cool and everything. But like, if you actually want it to work, you know what I'm saying? It starts with the mind. Another thing, speaking of the parties and all of that, it's like you got to make your thing aesthetically pleasing, man. I realized I left my rubber cement open. You got to make it pretty that you want to like look at it. You can't just like, don't just make the shit and then like throw it in the back of your closet somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to make it something that you don't mind looking at every single day. So like, you know, use some nice colors, some different types of, or even if you do get everything from a magazine, like lay it out in a way that you feel like, oh, I'm proud to have that on my wall. Like, I don't mind having that on my wall. And so that's the reason why, me personally, I did not use poster board. I knew from the very beginning when I started doing the vision board research, I was like, you know what, that's dope. I saw a dope idea, and I was like, yo, I like how he did that, so I'm gonna do mine. I didn't further like look at his or keep, you know, staring at it like, oh, I want mine just like that. But I saw like something that he had used, and I was like, I'm gonna use mine, and I'm gonna put mine on that, because I don't want just like some little $3 poster board type of thing like that. And what I got is not crazy expensive or anything, but it's like the principle of being able to put it on your wall and look at it and say like, yo, like that's me. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're already priming your brain to say that is me. And in 6 years, 5 years, however long it takes, that is what I'm aiming for, right? You want to make it aesthetically pleasing so that you can actually obtain what it is that you're trying to obtain. So we've talked about so far, we got to have our mind right. We have to have the actual physical, like feel it in your mind, like in your everything about you just feels this thing like, I've got this, right? Talked about making it aesthetically pleasing so that you actually want to look at it and not like ashamed, like, oh, just toss that somewhere and whatever. And that's another thing, you know, when we talk about subconscious programming, if you're not looking at it every day, how the hell do you expect to obtain it? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm really stressing this point of making it something visually pleasing, because if you don't, like, you're gonna be sitting here like, yo, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's in the back of your thoughts, like out of sight, out of mind, right? Usually when we do that, something like that, it's like, if it's not in my sight, if it's not in my daily routine, if it's not in my whatever, then I'm not thinking about it no more. You see what I'm saying? But if it's something like that's facing you right here, like it's right in your consciousness, or, you know, that person that's always on your phone type thing, it's like you have to pay attention to them because it's like they're right there. The minute that they're no longer there, you stop thinking about it, right? It's the same principle. And so that kind of leads us to our next point, right? um, your daily habits. What are your daily habits that are getting you towards this thing? You say you want this thing, right? You say you want this, like, and most people, they put like the fancy car, the beautiful girl, the nice mansion, or the dude with a six pack. You know, whether you a dude that wants a six pack, or you're a dude that's into dudes, or a lady that's into guys, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has that dude with the little six pack on their vision board. And so let's take him for example. If you do want that really chiseled physique, you want to look like the, whatever type of Greek god or whatever. Like, what are you doing on a daily basis? Have you looked up ways to, like, how to eat for a six pack, for instance? Have you looked at different exercise routines? Have you started to discipline yourself so that you can obtain these goals that you say that you want? Do you know how many years it takes to get a six pack? You know what I'm saying? Does it take 2 years? Like, how skinny are you now? If you're skinny, it's gonna be easier. You know what I'm saying? To an extent. Like, I heard that, skinny people say they can't gain muscle or gain weight or whatever, but abs are really just to reveal them. You have to shed that layer of fat. You know what I'm saying? Above them. Personally, that's something I'm working on right now. So I'm just saying, like, if that's something that I'm really saying I want, what am I doing on a day-to-day basis, to get there? Am I eating pizza every night type thing? And if you're intermittent fasting, shit, you can eat whatever you want, but, like, are you really healthy on the inside? That's another thing. You don't want to just be aesthetically on the outside and not there on the inside. So same thing with all this. A lot of people say, oh, just fake it till you make it type thing. But the thing about it is, like, the more that you fake it, the more you're not that thing. So instead of faking it until you make it, like, why don't you just start now, train your foundation so that you can be that thing that you're seeking, right? So that is the big part of it, is your daily habits, your daily goals. And I remember I went to this, like, I think it was back in January, actually. It was like this meetup, and I never heard of this guy before, but he was like the influencer's influencer. Like, he's a big deal. And I don't know, he kind of, like, he was helping me through the whole time. Like, he was like really feeling my ideas and stuff like that. But the reason why I bring him up is because instead of being a vision board party, he had like just a vision session, right? So it was a lot different than kind of what we're used to seeing. And basically he was saying, your goals, they have to be big, they have to be unrealistic, they have to be, something that's like, it keeps you driving forward. But he really stressed the importance of a daily routine. And so even when he talked about, like, companies like Google or Nike that have their, like, they have a vision, they have their motto laid out and these types of things, you have to make it big and unrealistic. So when I said, I am so and so, this is my goal, I'm gonna get a Grammy type thing like that, he was like, okay, now put something unrealistic. And everybody was kind of like taken aback, and he was like, I mean, maybe he thinks that's unrealistic, but clearly it's not, right? And when he said that, I was like, oh, well, clearly it's not, because people have obtained Grammys, so it's not unrealistic completely. And so then I put, like, I'm gonna be more loved and revered than Prince, or some type of thing like that, right? Like, something that everybody loves and knows and whatever like that. And so, yeah, you want to make your goal, you want to make it that, like a SMART goal, and you can look that up on YouTube as well. It's an acronym, but when you do your SMART goal, you want to basically make it something that's measurable, right? You want to be able to actually track your progress. Is a big part of that one. So you want to make it big and unrealistic, but you want to do smaller goals to try to get you to that bigger goal. So you have to have something where, like, okay, I can actually measure, the obtainability, or how much progress I've made with this particular thing. And there was one other thing when I was saying that, but I don't think it matters anymore. Nah, but yeah, make sure that when you're doing this, you're actually, like, I had high reverence for this. Like, I actually sat down and I took my time with it. Like, some people say, well, how long does it take to make one? I mean, honestly, you could, well, with cutting out everything and whatever, like, I've heard, when I was first doing my research, like 2 to 4 hours type thing. Mine took me some days. It took me over a week, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't because I didn't have the materials. Like, I've had this stuff cut out for a while, and I finally just sat down and did it. Me personally, I don't like gluing things. I've never been good at, like, cutting and arts and crafts and stuff. Like, I'm an artist, and I do well with graphic design or whatever, but I've just never been into, like, the gluing and the sticking and the whatever. And so it took me a little bit longer on that tip anyway. But more importantly is because I had the vision in my mind, but I couldn't see it laid out. And so it took me a couple times to like get it to how I wanted it. Even yesterday I was like, I was ready, I was starting to glue, and I was like, dude, like it's just something not right. And again, I said it's important so that like I want to actually do it and obtain it. um and so it was like I laid down like a quarter of it, and then I did that portion. I was like, okay, I know these are staying in these spots, I want this like this. And so I made sure to go ahead and put those down and then add to it later. Another thing is like, don't be afraid to freaking like draw on your thing, like make it your own, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just have to have magazine cutouts. You could also go on the internet if you have a printer at home. I don't have one with me right now, but if you have a printer at home, you could find images on like Pinterest and stuff like that. I just rather the old school route, right? One thing too is like that I didn't even think about till right now. It's proven, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've done multiple, or you see it multiple times, multiple studies. When somebody has to invest their own money, when you have to invest your own time, your effort, your money into something, like you're way more likely to do it than if it was free. So it could be the same information, but if I sell my course for $97 compared to giving it away for free, like you're actually more likely to take the steps and do the work because you paid your 97 to 350 or whatever kind of dollars that you paid. So when you have to go to the store, buy the magazine, sit here and cut and flip through the magazine to find what you want, cut it out and all of this, and then sit here and like lay it out, you know what I'm saying, and glue it down and stuff like that. I know it sounds like a lot of work. You could probably do it quicker than I did, but the point is like, just by doing those steps, that's already an investment. That's already something you want to do. You're already pulling it into your vibration because it's something that you're like, really, I'm tuned into this thing, right? Compared to if you're just scrolling through like Instagram or Pinterest and like screenshotting shit and then just saying like, hey, I'm gonna throw that on my board type thing. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, I feel like the digital world might make it even harder because you're not narrowing down your goals. You're like sitting here like, oh, this looks cool. Now this one looks better. I like that, but I like, you know what I'm saying? So then you're kind of more all over the place just because you're trying to like actually figure out like, hey, I want this or I want that, you know, type thing. So I think that's pretty much it. I hope this like really makes sense. I'm gonna show y'all my stuff right now, but I just feel like the thing that they don't tell you, like people are just like, okay, yeah, find something that you really aspire to, and then boom. But you don't want it just thrown away. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in the back of the closet somewhere where you're not gonna keep looking at it. You don't want it to just be, 30 minutes of work type thing and just throw the shit on there. Now, if you work efficiently in 30 minutes, like, by all means, do you. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I think, and part of it, too, is because I do graphic design or because I do art, and, like, I understand the importance of, like, negative space and moving things in certain ways and stuff like that. It might have taken me longer because I didn't want certain stuff to, like, look jumbled and all this kind of stuff like that. Now, if you don't have that type of background, just generally, you know what I'm saying? You know when something looks good and when it doesn't, right? So usually when people say things don't look good, it's because they have no cohesion to them. They're just kind of thrown all over the damn plate. Like, they don't fit together. So even if your topics have nothing to do with one another, you could still, put it in a way that kind of like flows or things like that. Oh, which is another point too. You can have multiple vision boards. So like for this one is for my career. That's you know what I'm saying, for my future, for my career. That's all. I have another one for my spirituality and my like my mental game. So like the other one would have like meditation or like pictures of like, gratitude, maybe a little bit more quotes and just different types of things about the person that I want to be or the person that I'm aspiring to be. Vice this one, which is like all, more so like it's more money based. It's more, prosperity financially based. It's more long-term goals and things like that compared to the other one, which would be more, like I said, family, spirituality, this type of thing like that. So you can have multiple ones. You don't have to just limit yourself and like try to fit everything onto one aspect. And that, I think that was an idea that I got from this one guy that I was watching, because he had it in his office. He had like 3 different ones. You know what I'm saying? He had them all framed too. He had them in frames. He had them very nice. He had like 3 different ones in frames and shit like that, to like really represent what he wanted for himself. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't afraid or ashamed to like show his work off. And again, the more you see it, the more you want to do it, type of thing. So this mine right here, and then I'm gonna actually put it in the frame. So this is the frame, and this is why this worked out beautifully actually. So this is the frame. I know this is a nice picture though. I don't want to take the picture out. I might actually just put the picture up too. Um, but what was beautiful about it is, the mat, the mat that comes in a frame like this. That's what I used as my thing. So I didn't even have to go buy the poster board or anything like that. I bought the frame, and I think I went to the art store and I told them, hey, I bought the frame from this place or from an art store or something like that. I was new to Nashville, so I don't really know, but I think they do framing and art is what it is. And I said, hey, can you cut this down for me? So basically, they cut it to fit these proportions, and then they slice the thing. Oh no, you know what? Now I remember, because like I said, it was a couple months ago. Life has been freaking crazy, but I found the board I wanted, and it was a textured red board, and I was like, yo, I really like that. Like, that shit's dope. And so then I had them, when I bought the frame, I had them cut the poster board that I did find to fit here. But really, what I could have done as well is I could have sat here and actually glued it on the actual insert that's in here. So you could do that too. Like, I think this one is an insert and a picture, and I'm just opening up the back right now. But you can also just find the poster board that you really want, and just they'll do it for free. It don't cost you nothing. You just tell them, go to Michael's or any kind of framing place and say, hey, I really want to put this in a frame. I mean, it'd probably help if you buy the frame from them. But yeah, I mean, you could ask them. All right, boom. So we're gonna leave glass in there. Sorry, it's kind of hard to be on YouTube and try to do all this shit. The reason why I didn't do it before is because I wanted to show y'all everything, what I was doing. So we're gonna take the back board out, put that down here. So this one about the money and the da-da-da, because of the wall I'm gonna have it on, I'm gonna do my horizontal, and then the spirituality, family, and all of that one I'm gonna do on a vertical one. So I'm if you do it kind of like that, if you do a horizontal one, make sure that the back of your thing could hang in multiple directions. I made sure there was hooks here. There's a hook here, but then there's also this one faces the other direction. So that's just something to look out for. Right, so here go our nice Japanese poster. If I cut it like this, oh no, they made sure that you couldn't. I was gonna say, if I cut it, you know what I'm saying, we still have a dope addition to our thing. Alright, so dope. This is actually plexiglass type of plastic, so you don't have to worry about cutting yourself or anything. That's pretty cool. Alright, let me move my iPad out the way. So let that drop in there. And then obviously I'm gonna take out the plastic so it'll look clear. That's kind of cool. I should take a picture like that before I do this. Should I? Nah, it's cool. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it off now. Cause I was thinking I could just do it through the frame, but then the corners, I won't be able to get the corners off. So, boom, there we go. Unraveling new shit, baby. And I'm gonna try not to get fingerprints all over this shit. The top one don't really matter because it's gonna be in the frame. But let me actually do this the right way. Alright. Just getting kind of dust or anything off of there. It's not a special, it's just one of those cloths that come with your electronics. Oh, so that's another thing too. When you're actually doing it, I use rubber cement because it's long term, it lasts. It's quick drying, and to me, I just feel like I have more control, or just I don't know. I felt like this would be better. It is a little bit more messy if you don't mind getting your hands dirty. And like rubber cement, it rolls up. So I mean, it's not like a big deal. It's not like glue, like pasted all over your hands, gluing stuff together. Um, yeah, that'd be worse if you use like super glue or something, and then your hands is all stuck together. But yeah, rubber cement is pretty cool. You get a lot of it, type thing like that. Um, I have regular glue too, but I just you know. But anyways, if you use rubber cement, make sure you get one of these. This came in like a little art kit, but it's basically like rubber. You can just find any kind of rubber anywhere. And then what it does is like, so when you have actually left this so y'all can see, like when you have rubber cement, this is my candle thing, but you see all this rubber cement on here? Basically you just do like this and it comes right off. So like just now, I don't know if you can see that, kinda, sorta, maybe. But it just comes right off, like it just boom, like that. Simple. It's like an eraser, but like with less effort of an eraser. I'm not even having to barely touch it, and it all is coming off like that. You see? Yeah. So if you do use rubber cement, make sure you get you something like this. It's just like I said, like a little piece of rubber. With the art store, it comes with it, type of thing, and then you're good to go. So that when it does get messy and stuff, you can clean up your stuff and make it look real nice. Especially if you use a white poster board. If you don't go the route I was telling you about, like a colored poster board or a thing like this, like a frame mat, then you're gonna need one of those for sure. Cause then it would turn out dingy, like. You know the kind of yellowish. There we go. You know, like the yellowish color, like the color it is basically that be on people white poster board because they don't have one of these. All right. Anyways. Oh man, that's sexy, bro. I like that. Now I should take a picture for sure with the piano in there and everything. All right. Like I said, we got the prosperity incense going, so I got to move that out the way. All right. Here we go, baby. So this is my shit right here. Oh, that shit look pretty good, bro. No, I'm saying no. I'm not trying to be cocky. Like seeing it on camera gives it a new light. Because I've had it on my desk for like I said, like a week or two. You know what I mean? And just like revamping it. Like the hardest part was like I knew I wanted the Grammy thing to look like this with Nipsey right there. If you can see him. I knew I wanted it to look like that. But I had it up here, you know what I'm saying? And I had this part down here. And I had, I didn't know where to put Prince in the Weekend. And I didn't know, I wanted Sylvia Massey on here. I knew I did. She signed this. She autographed that. She was, Tool, if you ever heard of Tool. She's their audio engineer. Like, there would be no Tool without Sylvia Massey. And she also did, she worked with Prince directly. Like, she used to do a lot of music for him and stuff like that. So, she signed that personally, and this is like a thing of her coloring book that she did. She did like an adult coloring book. She did all the illustrations for it. Like, woman is dope. What's dope about her is like she'll literally like run signal through like a pickle. Like that's when she came when I met her at the event I was at. She ran signal through a pickle. She'll run like music, like audio through a water hose just to see how it sounds. Like she's throwing off a damn. She threw a piano off a building. Where is it at? Right here. And then they shot it with a shotgun just to see how it sounds. Like so, she's super dope audio engineer. She's kind of low key though. But if you could look into her, her name's Sylvia Massey. But anyway, so like because it's so big, it's like it's like a psychedelic type of thing almost. It's like where do I put this? How does it fit in? Where can I fit it? You know what I'm saying? So I had it here, I think, and then I had the Grammy thing up top. Then I was like, it just wasn't flowing, right? So, and then like as I was doing my board, this right here was part of my other one. When I told you I did like I was gonna do one for spirituality and for like family and shit like that. This was a part of that because of the meditation and like the nature part. And I decided to put it on here. And then certain things didn't make it and stuff like that. So like with this one, It's like it said focused on the future. It kept falling off, right? And usually when spirit does something like that, like something will fall off or it won't work out, I'm like, okay, this is a sign type thing. And so I made sure I took this off of there because I was like, well, maybe because it's, people say you should say I am this, I am that. Like, you already have it. And if I say focus on the future, then it's just gonna keep pushing the stuff back, pushing it back. And then like this guy right here, this is actually an unk on top of it, but I didn't want to. I was told not to darken in the stuff. But the reason why he's on here is because I was looking at it, I was like, let me do it like a lion or a wolf, but they felt like cliche, you know what I'm saying? The wolf is like my guide or whatever, like one of my animals, but and then they're like hard to draw, right? Like I said, I don't have a printer or nothing. So the point being is like, I was like, okay, maybe I'll draw a bear. Bears are good. And when I started drawing the bear, like I drew the teeth first, then I drew the nostrils, and I was like, this kind of look like a gorilla. So I looked at the meaning of a gorilla, and like if you type in gorilla spiritual meaning or metaphysical or anything like that, it'll or spirit animal behind it, it'll show it, and it'll say, it's really good for like protection, but it's also good for this and this and like, so it's a whole list of things that the gorilla is good for, and it fits in with everything that I'm trying to do, because especially in this music industry, like, you gotta watch your back, bro. The whole universe is love, bro. Everything starts with love. So I am enough, like 3 words of change. And then this was another part. I had to have this by itself. Like, I wanted this and this to be stand out, and that's UMG, Universal Music Group, and Interscope. I want to be signed by Interscope. I will be signed by Interscope. So, boom, that's how we do that. And then, I'm not gonna put the back on yet. Let me see if I can lift it without putting the back on. So we would have, it would basically essentially look like this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put it over here and actually do it. It's just because it's instant. It's like making me real nervous. That's why I'm gonna have it over here. Put this here. Alright, cool. Now, it looks like the guy might have cut it a little. He didn't cut it enough, so I'm gonna cut it right now. Yeah, he didn't cut it enough. It's just slightly bigger. It's not too bad. But I also felt like there was when I made my board, they gave me an extra piece, so I was scared that I had made it on an extra piece, because really I could have done it like on this cardboard right here type thing, but all I'm gonna do is add that to the back right now, and then I'm gonna cut it down to size, and then we gonna do this thing. But I got a lot of shit on my desk, so I gotta move all that first, and then I'll come back. Like stuff like this, I don't want to break. The other shit I don't care about. Oh, buddy. So yeah, man, it's all about having your. I mean, you don't even really have to have your vision mapped out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to know for sure this is what I want, this is what I don't want type thing. You can really, you don't have to per se have that. Like, you just have to have a general vision or idea of what you want to do. And also, whoa, that was kind of tricky. There we go. All right. That's just a dictionary. We got it. What the heck happened here? Oh, my other remote accidentally hit it, so now it's changing colors on my lamp. I like the blue. Y'all like the blue? I like the blue. Anyways, back to the point. You don't have to have a very know for sure this is what I want type thing. But just go through and like see what inspires you, or see like what is really calling you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you will see something that's calling you, and then that turns out to be your passion later. So a lot of times when people say, "Oh, I found my passion and stuff," it's like because we've tried so many things that didn't work, or we have that one thing that we keep suppressing, and then it'll come back to you. So like for me, music. You know what I'm saying? I was in school studying not audio, aeronautical engineering. Right? I was like, I'm gonna work for NASA, do all the robots and the space and da da da. Like I had it all. You know what I mean? And I was going to school for that, and then, I had some health issues or whatever, like mental health issues, and then it turned out, like music was the one thing that kept calling me. One thing that kept calling me. It wasn't even until recently that I don't know why. I was sitting over there, you know what I mean? I was sitting over there, I think of watching something on a projector, and I was like, man, I started thinking about to like when I was like 3 years old. I used to walk around the house with like this little tape recorder. No, I wasn't three. I was like eight. And I had this little. My favorite toy was like this little tape recorder. Like that's what it was. It was like a little kid's boombox, but it wasn't quite a boombox, and it had like a little microphone, so you could hit record like with the cassette tape. You could hit record, and like you know what I'm saying. And I used to have a blast with that thing. I don't know what the hell happened to it, but I used to love it. And then like even my mom's, her real speaker system. She barely used the thing, but like I would always know how to like, I would sit there and like record the songs off the radio because that's what you had to do back in the 90s. You had to actually sit down. There was no streaming and Spotify and shit like that. You had to actually like wait for your song to come on and hit record to get your thing to record. And what else was there? Like, yeah, I don't know. It was like a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, just all these memories were flushing in. I was like, damn, like because I used to think like, some of these rappers and say, oh, I know since I was 3 that I was gonna do that. I didn't know that shit. I was like, a lot of times I didn't even feel those stories. Like, I feel like they fake or something, or like people say, oh, we had a musical household on Saturdays when Earth, Wind and Fire came on. You knew what to do. It was time to clean and all this. I didn't have all of that. You know what I mean? But I started to recall more and more, just how much music is embedded in me. And the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of times it's the thing that you keep suppressing, like that thing that you love, that you really want, but you keep saying like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, that don't make money. Oh. And you have a million reasons why it don't work. You know what I'm saying? And no reasons why it do work. Like you could actually, there's a million reasons to find why something won't work. But if you could just find that one, like that one or two that like you could just really hold on to, that really excites you, that like you feel excited, like damn, I get to wake up tomorrow and do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that right there is that's your real passion. That's what's really calling you. And if you, so I had the damn magazine on my head. If you haven't gotten there yet, like I said, you could just look through the magazines for inspiration, like see what really pulls you out, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what really like calls you, what really feels like, man, like that would be cool type thing. You don't have to have and that's the beauty of it too. You don't have to have the logistics worked out yet. You don't have to sit here and think about, 1,000 years from now or 10 years from now, how am I gonna make this work and da da da. You don't have to do all of that. You have to focus on your daily habits. What are you doing every single day that could either get you there or not get you there? You see what I'm saying? Like, if you really want to be a drone racer, right? That's the thing. If you want to be a drone racer, like, are you studying the drone races? Are you watching YouTube videos about drone racing? Are you saving money to buy your own drone, or figuring out how you can fly somebody else's? Are you looking at the qualifications? Like literally anything in this world. You see what I'm saying? Like, when I say make it a part of your vibration, like you have to like, yo, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z every day. Like you have to like wake up and watch YouTube, or go to bed. No, wake up and watch YouTube videos on it. Go to bed with the subliminal stuff that we talked about earlier, or binaural beats or anything like that. Make sure that you're reading about it, that you're writing about it, or seeing people that write about it. Find people in your community that do it. Now, I mean, it's harder now, you know what I'm saying? But when everything lifts up and we're no longer like in quarantine and stuff like that, go to meetup groups. Go to meetup groups that are doing the thing that you're into. So if it is drone racing, like go fucking find people that do drone racing. Find people that are successful in it so that you can get there too. You know what I'm saying? So get back to this right now. We gonna cut down our little board. And that's why it's also important to always leave like graphic design. We always leave like a little 1/4 inch of something, like a border type thing. And you want to do that just in case. Yeah, you want to make sure that everything fit how it's supposed to fit. Now, if you were smart and unimpulsive like me, you would have checked this beforehand. You know what I'm saying? You would have measured your shit to make sure everything was in proper alignment. But you know, I go with the flow, man. I do shit when I want to do it. Yeah, act up. So we gonna do. I think I'm gonna cut the top. I'm gonna cut the top of it, like right there. Yeah. I mean, really, I could just put it on the thing. Let's see. We can put it on here. Yeah, because even see the back is a little bit bigger than the actual square mat, the cardboard that came as the mat type thing. So I'm gonna just base it off of the backing. I'll do it like that. Boom. Yeah. So it took a little bit longer to redo this video because if you saw in I think it was like 3 or 4 videos ago. It was before like I think the Nelly and the Erykah Badu and all those lives and stuff. But if you go back, you'll see it. And I'm just like, I saw a clip of it earlier, and I was just like silent, bro. I was just like, yo, because I literally talked for like, I think it was like an hour or more. No, the vision board party itself was like over an hour, and I was just like dropping gems and just like, you know, not as eloquently or structured as I did today, but it was like, yo, I was giving some good game and everything, and it just all got erased because the audio wasn't recording the whole time. So there are people that watch silent YouTube videos, like they just watch you even if you're in silence. But because of the subject matter, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And anyways, the reason why it took so long because it was just like that was heartbreaking. And then, like I said, I had to keep moving stuff around. Like I was like, I didn't really feel the direction of a lot of stuff. And so yeah. Anyways, we can go on and on about that. But I appreciate you watching this. If it helped you out, help somebody else out, and share it and like it. And you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe and help your boy get to 100 people, because we want to change 100 lives or help people out and shit. So, all right, that's it. And I'll probably come back on the next video and like actually show it, because the cutting down process, y'all don't really need to see all that. But yeah, I really hope that this helped you out. And again, you know what I'm saying, it's all about your whole vibration, accepting your vision, subconscious training, retraining. Don't feel like you're not good enough for it. Don't feel like you don't deserve it, because you do, and you are good enough, and you're loved, and you're beautiful, and you're part of this universal family, and we need you here, right? Till your role is fulfilled. Nah, but we need you here type shit, you know? And then also make sure that it is aesthetically pleasing. Make sure you want to have it on your wall. Make sure it's something you want to look at day in and day out and day in and day out. Like you're looking and you're focused on that thing. That's the only true way to see it, you know what I mean, to obtain it, is you have to see it. You have to see yourself there. See? He tried to burn my little MacBook. You have to see yourself there. You have to actually, like, you know, like we said, you can't drive to the store with the GPS if you don't know that you want to go to the store, right? You have to know, like, boom, I'm trying to get here, and do everything you can to get there. And your daily goals are what get you there. Everybody likes to plan. What's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? What's your month? Fuck all of that. You see what I'm saying? What is your daily, like, boom, here I am, you know, to get to where the hell I'm trying to be type thing. Yeah, aesthetically pleasing. Oh, and if you don't know where you want to be at, like, just keep looking for inspiration. Keep trying things. Keep trying. That's the only way you're gonna find it, man. Or let it find you. That thing that maybe something when I said earlier, there's that thing that you keep suppressing because your parents told you it won't make money, or oh, I can't do that, or oh, I'm too old, or I'm too fat, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. Like, whatever that thing is, like, focus in on that. And if you say, like, you want to be a world fencer or a dancer, and you're too fat to do that, like, you'll find a way. You know what I'm saying? You'll lose the weight. If we're talking about the six pack we were talking about earlier, same thing. Um, Anything in this life, if you want it, you can go obtain it, man. But it's about your mindset first. That's what I'm saying. You really have to do that part first in order for your vision board to work. It doesn't just stick on your wall and then magically happen. You see what I'm saying? Now, that is a part of it too, though. Think about like a new painting you got in your house or something you added to your space. If you like when you first got it, you noticed it all the time. You always saw it. It was always in your vision, or like consciously you saw it. And now it's just a part of the background. It's just a part of the house. It's just there. So the reason why I bring that up is like that new painting or that new thing. It's not that it went off your wall. It's just like your mind is no longer conscious of it, because humans, we are hardwired to know when something is different in our environment. Like, literally, that is a part of our genetic makeup. That's why you can't smell your own house, because if like it's like, and people are like, maybe you don't know about that, but it's like if you can't smell your own house because you are hardwired to know when there's a shift or something is different, or something is a little bit off. And so when you go out and you smell your clothes, or somebody else leaves your house and like, or that scent, like somebody, like one of your friends comes around, they have like this particular scent. It's not because they're a cologne or deodorant. It's like their clothes smell a certain type of way. It's because their house smells like that. And the only reason why their house smells like that, like, they don't know that they smell like that. You see what I'm saying? If I'm trying to make this make sense. No, you can look it up for real. But like I said, we're hardwired to notice change in our environment. And so when that painting has been there, or that guitar has been there for however long, you no longer notice. It's not like a big, anything. But your subconscious is still taking in the information, though. So even though you're not consciously focused on that thing being there, that guitar is still there. You see what I'm saying? So, yes. I hope that whole ending part made sense. I meant to throw it in earlier, but I was trying to like end the video and still try to backtrack and talk about it. So, yeah. Anyways, any questions, comments, concerns, bitches, groans, might, gripes, complaints, favoritism, anything like that, hit me up. My contact information will be down below. And listen to the Uncle Z podcast, the unfiltered truths for the unfiltered minds, to help us all grow. All right, dope.